Ty Wilson here, Georgia Workers' Compensation attorney, practicing law in the state of Georgia. And our video topic for today is you're out of work, you're getting checks, you're getting medical care. Everything seems to be going well with your Georgia Workers' Compensation claim. However, you've just went to the doctor says, you know, I think the next time you come to my office, we'll be able to release you from work. Great news. What does that mean and how does that affect your case? So let's talk about that. If you've been released full duty, it's not light duty. Doc just says, hey, you're at MMI, full duty. We see that happen even though somebody's been seriously injured and there's a lot of questions. But if they release you to full duty and they get you back to work and you're back at work and you've been there for 2 weeks, then they can cut the weekly checks, and often do before then, depending upon if there's a WC-240 return to work form involved. Check out our other videos for that. But they get you back to work, full duty, and you're still receiving checks. Why would you still be receiving checks? Check the check stubs. They should say P as in Paul, P as in Paul, D as in David, meaning PPD, permanent partial disability. So if you've been injured, you had surgery, you've got an impairment rating that someone has told you about, or maybe they haven't, they will have to pay you that PPD. They can't pay you the PPD while you're receiving the TTD. I know, lovely, right? So while you're getting those weekly checks, they can't pay you the permanent partial disability. But the minute those stop, and once you get back to work, they will stop, especially if it's full duty, then they'll start paying you those weekly checks, and you're like, still getting the same checks. Maybe somebody made a mistake. Not the case, not the case. They're gonna pay you out that PPD, and then once they're done with that, they're gonna say, we're closing our file. Does it mean your case is closed? Not necessarily. You still certainly have medical care, and if you're treating and you continue to treat, you want to keep doing so. You don't want to walk away from the claim. You may not be getting any checks, and there may not be much value to settle the case except for potentially the future medical, and that obviously depends on how much that is. But if you've been released to full duty, probably not a lot. So at that point, you've got to ask yourself, can I keep doing this job that they got me back at? If you're back full duty doing the old job and you're not having any problems, good for you. You're going to make a lot more money working there in the long term as long as you're not on the hot seat for any other reason.